So a newspaper article today showed that a store in England is forced to put security tags on tins of Milo because the cost of living has reached such a crisis. British supermarket has forced to put security tags on tins of Milo as cases of shoplifting soar amid crippling costs of living crisis. So the tins are priced at £6.50 for 400 grams, which equates to almost 13 Australian dollars. And in Australia, that same thing gets sold for $9. So just reading about the cost of living crisis in London, in the UK, what is this all about? What is this security on tins of Milo? Oh, a very sad looking princess, and that Nautilus shell. Nautilus, obviously it's a seashell shell that comes from the sea. And see this lady, she's got all the shells in her hair. What I'm looking at here, the energy I'm getting, is that this is directly related to the significant uncontrolled influx of migrants. Now, I'm not an anti-immigrant. I'm an immigrant myself. I'm not anti-migration. I am anti-uncontrolled migration because that puts a strain on the resources for the locals. What else? Hoo-hoo. That is not a good card. That is a very mean, horrid, wicked, evil card. I'm getting the card here. I just got the impression of the tail wagging the dog. So immigrants coming in an uncontrolled way, taking up the resources of the local people, feeling that they have the right to accommodation, to food, to whatever, and the local people need to suffer. Now, I'm not saying that all of the migrants are evil. I'm saying that there's an element in the migration that's happened that is a criminal element, a gang element, and they're taking advantage of the situation. People who have got terrible criminal records for violent crimes just flooding in, gangs flooding in. Ooh, that is a very chilling energy. Here, it says here, the Lantern Fairy, a clear solution. There is a clear solution to the uncontrolled migration. Just stop it. Just stop it. But that's not a popular sentiment. Well, it's not a popular sentiment in some quarters. So this fairy here, this light represents the clear solution to uncontrolled migration, which is just to stop it. The light is to provide guidance to the politicians. The light is to put the citizens of the country first, to stop turning the country upside down, to look after their own people, look after the people who paid their taxes all of their lives. Oof, this got very dark very quickly. I'll pull two more from this deck and then we'll go on to another deck. What do you think? Do you think uncontrolled migration is sustainable? Do you think there need to be some rules in place preventing just anybody coming in? Autumn is my last chance. Please don't lose hope. And here's a lady looking very, very sad, looking very, very pale, and she's got an apple in her hand, and it looks like it's her last apple, her last resource. And look at all these trees behind her. They've been stripped bare. They're naked. They don't have any fruit on them. They don't have any leaves on them. So basically, the country is being pillaged. And not only England, but many countries that have got uncontrolled migration. No country can sustain that kind of thing. One more from this deck, and then we'll get another deck in. Yep. So unless something powerful changes, the country is just going to go further and further down this road. See this red on the sea? It looks like the sea is burning. Maybe that's an indicator that the boats need to be stopped. You need to put the red stop signal on the sea. The boats need to be stopped. People coming from across the waters need to be stopped. Migration needs to be put in proportion again. Total eclipse think people need to see more clearly. They need to have the darkness pulled away from their eyes, because there is not enough resources to support people in the country who need it and people externally who are flooding in. So I'm just going to get a couple of cards on how do ordinary citizens feel about the cost of living crisis in England and elsewhere. Oh, very much of a predatory card. They're feeling that there's the politicians just stepping over them, literally stepping over their bodies, not concerned about the ordinary everyday citizens, the people on whose backs the country was built. The politicians are enjoying the limelight. They're enjoying being the center of attention. They're enjoying the power, and they don't care who they have to step over to get there. And so, yeah, that's people think that the politicians are just leaving them pretty much to die. That's not even really hyperbole. Some people are going to die. They're going to die because of cost of living, not being able to afford food, not being able to afford heating. And the politicians have set their mind that they are not going to let the people tell them what to do. Ooh, that's a very, very evil card, and a card of despair. The people in the community is in despair at how the politicians are treating them. Oh wow, this is a very, very dark card as well. So what it is, it's a heart, and then there's these two serpents coiled around the heart, and it's a tree with the roots, but it's been uprooted, and the snakes around the heart are squeezing the life out of it, and so the 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 community, the people feel as though they're being squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter, and there's so much stress and so much despair. And the people who could do something about it, the politicians who could use some of the resources to bring comfort and relief to the people, are not doing that. They're choosing instead to have this death grip on the country. And this might even also be the gangs that are coming in with this death grip and squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter. And the public just, they don't know how much longer they can keep this up. They don't know how much more they can take. So, that's a very bleak message. Let's pull from another deck and see if there's any hope. Let's leave you with a lighter note, hopefully. This is the Universal Folk Oracle. What does the future hold? What does the future hold for England and for all countries suffering from significant influx of migrants? Confidence. Unfortunately, I'm getting here that the confidence is the migrants are confident that they can just come into the country and be plentiful. And see there in the very background, there's an old stately home. The citizens are put at the back of the queue, and the new people coming in are reaping what the citizens have sown. So, that's not very good. So, to me, it's unfortunately going to get worse before it gets better. But there has to come a tipping point. There has to come a point where things get better. I hope. Let's see what the cards say. Mystery. Yep. They're going to wake up one day and find that it's a mystery. They don't actually really know how they got into this mess. And maybe that day is very soon upon them. And see that castle in the background again is in ruins. It's in tatters, but with the swan there, I'm just feeling that the royal family is going to help in some way to bring balance, to bring calm. So yeah, people are at the moment in despair. One last card for the people of England. Uncover. So maybe there's some kind of corruption going on, but the truth will be uncovered, and people will slowly, this is very slowly, begin to realize that the economy and the resources can't support this uncontrolled migration. And I'm getting here with the two different birds. Here's a bird that is going to be coming in. So this is a migrant coming in who will contribute to society and will make society a better place. And this bird in the background here that's flying off, one who's perhaps violent, perhaps got convictions, perhaps got nothing to offer the country. He's been chased off and made to fly somewhere else, maybe back to his home country. So there will be a balance restored in the migration issue, but it's not going to be immediate. But the future, once this happens, the future is going to start looking much better again for everyday citizens.